Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Come on in. We are live this afternoon. Come on in. I'm inviting you on in. Let me know that you're here with a listening ear. Hello, everyone. Hello. Come on in the room. Come on. Now, this is an exciting new adventure for me. And I thank you for tuning in and giving a listening ear for your midday tune-up. That's what I'm calling it, a midday tune-up, because we get our word in the morning, we get our word at night. But sometimes you need to get a little refreshing charge in the midday. So welcome on in. All right. Now this is new for me and I can't tell exactly what's happening. I hope everything is happening. But I wanted to talk a little bit about having a mouthpiece, having someone there to speak for you when you may not have a voice, or you may not know what to say, when to say, or how to say. So it is very important that we have someone that can convey our feelings, our messages at the right appropriate time. I remember I was sick and I was on some medication, and it didn't seem, I could not pray or really function until 12:01 in the afternoon. And I was like, something is wrong, because I can't even pray. And everything seemed to bother me. If my shoes were moved or if a piece of paper was out of place, it would just bother me so much that I had to keep silent, because within my soul, I was irritated. And so I went to the pharmacist and I said, I can't function until about 12:01. And he said, the medication you're on doesn't level out in your system until that time, because you've been taking it the same time every morning. And when this was happening to me, I had called my friend Jack and I said, Jack, I don't understand. I said, I can't even pray. Pray for me. And she became my mouthpiece. And she uttered up a prayer, and it made me feel better. But I'm glad I found out it was the type of medication I was on that was making me feel out of sorts. And needless to say, I stopped taking that medication. So a mouthpiece, or the person that you would have as a person to convey your thoughts and feelings, you need to know that this person is responsible in carrying out your wishes and would speak the words that you would say, that you would have them to say at the right appropriate time. It's like they become your ambassador or your spokesperson, just like the Lord had ambassadors or spokesperson in the Bible listed. You know, they were the prophets that gave the word of God. They were entrusted to say the right things and to do the right things. Or you had Aaron for Moses. You know, he became the mouthpiece, that trusted person to speak. You had Jeremiah that spoke God's words of truth and power. You know, your person that you choose must bear your burden. They must know your heart, know what you would want in certain situations, okay? Because you give them the power to speak for you. Just like God gave the power for people in the Bible, those prophets, to speak for the purpose of communication, for the purpose of giving out warnings, for even correction or encouragement. Do you have a trusted friend that will give you a word of correction? You don't need everyone patty caking you all the time and saying the things you want to hear to tantalize your ears. But we need people in our lives that will give a word of truth and power. Okay? So, regardless of the situation and the consequences it may cause, you have to have a trusted person to speak in your behalf. And I say consequences because at times, me as a caregiver, I had to speak the words that I thought my loved one would have me to say. And I had to bear the consequences. Some people didn't like what I had to say. When I said, no, they're not allowed to have this, or these are their wishes, and I'm going to carry them out according to their desires. No matter if it bothers you, I'm going to do what I was commissioned to do, okay? So we must be able to have a person that can effectively communicate our thoughts, our ideas, and carry out our plans. It's very important. You know, sometimes that would be the person that is your prayer partner, or it could be the person that is your best friend, or sometimes a person to speak in your behalf may be your attorney. But it must be a person that you trust to carry out your word and your will. That trusted person can sometimes sound the alarm. They're using their breath with great intention to make sure you're cared for. And so make sure you have someone to speak in your behalf in case there comes a time when you can't speak to yourself. If there's a medical issue with you going on and you need to be hospitalized, make sure you have a confident friend to help navigate through your medical situation. It is very important. So that's the word for today. To make sure you have someone with a listening ear, a compassionate heart to carry out your requests, what you would have them to do in certain situations where you cannot speak for yourself. Okay? I thank you so much for tuning in and joining me for this midday tune-up, pick me up, stirring you up. I thank you, and remember to stay powered up.